Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Lee Pitts Live here at the famed Luminary Hotel, downtown Fort Myers. So thrilled to get Amy Zamot here, real name Amelia, with the Director of Prevention and Community Services at McGregor Clinic. Amy, welcome back to Lee Pitts Live.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Always good to get you here, and it's always great to see McGregor Clinic and people like yourself under your leadership out in the community at events like Lee Pitts Live after work, quietly there connecting with the community. How's that experience been for you?
It has been phenomenal. I have actually been able to partner with new agencies that I met their representatives at Lee Pitts Live after work. So it has been wonderful. And we've been able to give out a lot of our materials. A lot of people stop by my table when I'm tabling and they ask questions. So I know we're getting the word out to the right people. And
you got a captive audience right there in the room with you, and you just blend in.
Absolutely.
Is that ideal what we want in society, to be able to blend in, mainstream, get the education in, and connect with people?
I think, I honestly wish there were more opportunities like that. It helps us to normalize HIV and sexual health when we're at events like that. Mm-hmm. Because there's so many different people in the audience, there's so many people just talking, it's very casual, it's very relaxed, but they're also free to ask questions, they're free to, so I can give my information and it doesn't feel out of place. Mm-hmm. So I honestly wish there were more events like Lee Pitts Live after work.
We'll do our best. When I see your table and I see you there and I see other representatives there, and it's a certain degree of privacy there, but at the same time, people are still able to talk to you, but it doesn't draw a lot of attention to them. It just within the whole structure of things, right?
Yes, and I think that is because the way that it's set up, since there are other vendors, it doesn't look awkward. It doesn't look out of place that they're coming and talking to us. Really what happens is people will stop at each table, just have a casual conversation, and so it helps us to blend in and to really just be comfortable, you know? The same way they'll stop at somebody else's table, they're stopping, they're talking to us, they're asking the questions, and I love it because people are free.
And the beautiful thing about all of this that comes out in this is that we're talking about privacy, but it is something that is public in the sense that people need to be educated, just like a common cold or any other things that happen in society as it relates to our health, chronic diseases and things of that nature. It needs to be talked about. It's common now. People know people who are living with the virus, but it's still kind of taboo. Kind of unpack where we are now in the current state in 2024.
We're better than we were. I think especially the new generation coming up is very comfortable talking about these issues, but we still have so many adults, seniors and above, who are still a little stuck in the past, still have their misconceptions and their myths about HIV and sexual health. And so when we come to events like that where we get this mixed audience, they're able to at least comfortably bring their curiosity, and I'm able to educate. My team is able to educate. My team is able to normalize. My team is able to say, this is okay. This affects everyone. The reality is, you know, we rank 9th in numbers. You know, we're in the top 10. So clearly Florida has some work to do. We definitely have the opportunity to talk about this with people, but we balance that with it's taboo. It's sexual health predominantly here in Florida. You know, and people don't like to talk about those topics, but everybody's engaging in different behaviors that put them in this realm. So it's a struggle.
I got, you know, our schools can call you, they have a robocall where they can call and leave messages for the parents, right? So I check the message or I answer the phone, recorder says whatever, and I was so shocked that they said, hey, we're letting you know that in our health education or whatever at the school, this week we're going to be dealing with the topic of HIV and AIDS. Now this wasn't the Lee County School District where my son goes to school. He goes to school in the Broward County School District. And I was like, they were like, if you got any problem with that, give us a call, let us know, because we're going to be and I was like, go, run, teach it, go. Now, two-pronged question from that. To me, that's progress. That's over there on the East Coast of Florida. Do we have anything like that here locally?
So if that's your first question, the answer is no. So, unfortunately, Lee County is an abstinence-only county, which means they really don't move past abstinence as the only option when it comes to HIV and
Which is
sexually
not
transmitted
realistic.
infections. It's not realistic. It's not really giving full information. You want to give comprehensive, complete information so that people have the tools to make their own decisions and to really be informed. When you come at it from a single approach, you're missing pieces that some child who perhaps abstinence isn't even an option given their life circumstance doesn't have tools to stay safe. So to me, that's a detriment. So that question is, we don't have that here. Broward is comprehensive, so it's a whole different approach.
Okay, so people being educated about the different viewpoints and the way different areas approach all of this education-wise. Let me stay on that for one more thing before we move forward. In your world, if it's taught as a part of health education, would we be better off as a society with children learning this at an early age?
I believe 100% if we moved into a comprehensive sex ed curriculum, which starts from kindergarten all the way through high school, age appropriate of course, I believe our numbers for HIV, STIs, and teen pregnancy would be hugely impacted in a positive way, because again, you're equipping people with full information and they have the tools to make real decisions
about real things that are actually taking place in the world.
That's right. That's right.
It's not like it's it's not like it's fantasy or it's not true.
Oh no, it's real. And this is proven in many other countries that do have comprehensive programs right from grade school. And those countries do not have the staggering rates of any of these things, HIV, STIs, hepatitis, none of those that we have here in the United States.
Talk about some things McGregor Clinic is doing at the grassroots level to continue to raise awareness and prevention and education. And I want to put emphasis on the word prevention is the key, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's really our heart at McGregor Clinic. It's really about getting out into the community. So we still have our mobile unit that goes out and does testing at different venues and events. But in addition to that, we've expanded our program. So up until January of this year, we were exclusive to HIV. We educated on everything, but we didn't provide those services to everyone. We moved away from that. We said, no, we've got to move with the times because this is real. It's a real problem. And so we've added on STI testing, which includes the most common ones here in this area. So we're talking gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis, and hepatitis. We've added that in. And we provide those tests free of charge to anybody who wants them. We have an appointment system, but we also have a walk-in system because we want to be accessible to the community. So that's the first thing. We're also providing PrEP, which is pre-exposure prophylaxis. Short version, take a pill to prevent getting HIV. Same concept as birth control. We're providing that to the community.
Wow.
We're also, it's huge, huge. We're also able to provide what's called PEP, which is post-exposure prophylaxis. So God forbid you had some type of encounter, things didn't go as planned, something bad happened to you, you went out and somebody roofied you, some type of exposure. If you get to us within 72 hours, we can provide medication that will help, nothing's 100%, but that will help prevent you going from negative to positive within a 28-day window. All of this is brand new for our clinic, but we're excited to offer it because this is what society needs now. This is the state we're in now.
So let's go back to that part about the within 72 hours. Then you said something, a 28-day window. There's a 72 hours that you have to get it done within.
So that's post-exposure. So say you've been a victim of sexual violence, right? Or something as simple as your prophylactic broke, okay? If you get to us within 72 hours of that moment of when it happened, we can provide you with medication. You take that medication for 28 days, and at the end of 28 days, hopefully if we got it in time, you're not gonna be HIV positive, even if you were exposed to someone who is not healthy living with HIV.
Right, because when you're taking it, you don't know whether you've been exposed or not.
Yes, you don't know.
This is an abundance of caution.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Man,
it's a way of giving people tools to protect themselves.
I just learned something new every day, and I'm just seeing, because I got involved in the whole AIDS, HIV education way back when my show started in the early 1990s. So I've been constantly being up, and I personally can see the progress, and shout out to the scientists and all the research people who've been able to get us to this point. Let's take a look right now at a McGregor Clinic commercial that airs on this show that people will get a feel for a lot of other services that you provide. Let's go.
For patients living with HIV or concerned about HIV, the McGregor Clinic in Fort Myers is here to help. The McGregor Clinic takes a holistic approach to treat the body and mind, with services like same-day appointments, preventative care, wellness screenings, rapid HIV testing, immunizations, flexible hours standing by for you. Our case management team also assists with medication, housing, dental care, health education, Medicaid applications, and other insurance assistance, all under one roof. The McGregor Clinic is giving voice to patient choice. Learn more at McGregorClinic.org.
And looking at that commercial and the wide range of images that we see right there, that goes to say that anybody can contract the virus. It's not just as the old stereotypical intravenous drug use,
That's right.
Homosexual activities and things of that nature. But I want you to expand and talk about how anybody.
Yes. So HIV is not a respecter of persons. It has nothing to do with your socioeconomic status. It has nothing to do with your race. It has to do with exposure. If you're exposed to someone who is not undetectable, who is living with HIV, which means the virus levels are not to the level where we can't, it's not below a certain threshold. If it's not there, then there's a risk of potential exposure, potential transmission. And I think the biggest thing is really putting emphasis on people who are not living with HIV to really be cautious, to know that they have a multitude of tools to be able to stay healthy. But I think there's an expectation in this society that we're gonna put the blame and the ownership on people living with HIV. And they're living with it. They're dealing with it every day. They're thriving thanks to medication. They're doing well. So why would I put my sexual health in the hands of someone else? We need to take ownership of our own sexual health. We need to take ownership of our own drug use behaviors. If you're an injection drug user, there are tools for you to stay safe and not acquire HIV. We can deal with the injection drug use separately. But I want you to stay safe and healthy and not have to deal with HIV on top of other issues you're dealing with. And then you have social determinants, things like poverty and education level that impact not only whether you can access these things, can you get to our clinic, can you get, which is why we have our mobile unit, because we want to break down those barriers. If educational level is an issue, I want to make sure that I'm educating you at a level that's comfortable for you, but giving you the tools.
You mentioned the mobile unit. What exactly happens with the mobile unit?
So we have a 26-foot mobile unit with 2 exam rooms. It also has a restroom to be able to collect specimen. And we take that out into the community. We can use it to provide education. So we can gather groups outside of our mobile unit. It has an awning. We put out a table. We can educate.
Just
we
like
can
the
also
old bookmobile.
Exactly, same concept.
Yeah.
Yes. We have space to be able to do counseling. And I'm talking specific to sexual health counseling and risk reduction counseling. We have space to do both HIV testing, and we're moving into bringing all of the STI program right onto our mobile unit. So to be able to do the gonorrhea, chlamydia, the syphilis, the hepatitis testing right on the mobile unit. We're also working on a linkage system so that if I come test you in the neighborhood you live in, how do I ensure if you don't have transportation that you're gonna get to my clinic for whatever treatment you need? And so that's something we are working on actively as we speak. We have meetings this month because we want to make sure that the people who need the service can get the service.
If people are listening to us right now and watching us on television, listening to us on radio, and they want you to bring your mobile bus out, van, truck out there, I've seen is really nice, to on location to their events, what's the process?
All they have to do is pick up the phone and say, I'm calling to, I want to get the mobile unit out. They literally transfer it to my department and we get it scheduled.
Okay, and then you just sit there and people walk by at festivals, different things, and they can just, you know, privately talk to you guys and they can get tested on the spot?
Absolutely, they sure can.
Do they get results on
And
the
they
spot?
leave with their results, yes.
We're that far along now.
Yes, we are. In fact, the testing methodology we use, you get your results in 60 seconds. And it's the same accuracy, the same specificity and sensitivity as a blood draw.
Okay, well that's scary, like somebody hit me with that. So talk about what happens if you're positive in that, what y'all do.
Well,
right
this is
there
why
on
I
the spot.
said we do specific counseling for health education, risk reduction. Of course, we're gonna immediately link them to care services. And we're not about if I work with you, you got to come to me. It's about what's going to work for you. You know, if I'm 6 miles away with my clinic, but the next clinic is 1 mile away and you don't have transportation and you can get there, I'm going to connect you to them. I'm going to connect you to where you're going to get the care that you need. Because the reality is, all of the aid service organizations, we're all striving for the same goal. We want to end this epidemic. So we will counsel that person. I also have a community health worker who will be linked to that person and kind of help them navigate, you know, new diagnosis, what that looks like. Definitely provide education so that they're not thinking this is a death sentence, and really just walking them through the whole system.
I've always been impressed with McGregor Clinic in terms of the food you can provide. You got a closet there with clothes and all of that. Educate our audience on that, please.
Yes, so we have a food pantry and a clothes closet available to clients of the McGregor Clinic. So these are individuals living with HIV. The most awesome thing is, in the last year, we were able to create new partnership. So we get a lot of our food from Midwest Food Bank as well as Harry Chapin. So where before, when we first started, we would buy food to be able to give out, and that's limiting. Now we have enough resources that we're providing meats, we're providing vegetables, we're providing perishables and non-perishables, as far as food is concerned. And then our clothes closet has grown in size, especially once we moved to our Carroll Road location. It is huge. It looks like a boutique. And so we are able to bring our clients in and they can shop, and it's all for free, with dignity. You know, they're not walking in there feeling like they're getting hand-me-downs. They're walking in there feeling like, okay, I need something, and these guys are here to provide it.
Love it. About less than 6 months ago, Lee Pitts Live was able to donate all of its proceeds from Lee Pitts Live After Work to assist McGregor Clinic, and that was one of the highlights of my life, to be able to give those funds to help a worthy cause. I'm encouraging people now, if they want to donate different types of ways, they can go to the McGregor Clinic website and click on donation, and it's going to all go to a worthy cause. Talk about some of the ways that you guys utilize funds that are donated to you guys to help keep your services going, because you are a nonprofit.
Absolutely. So when there are things missing that perhaps we haven't gotten donations on, especially during the months that were a little colder, we were able to provide scarves, hats, gloves, things like that. And that's something we were purchased with donated funds. We also sometimes help clients who can't get to us with the ability to come. So we'll pay for Uber Health Taxi, you know, we'll pay for private taxi. We've had clients who get evicted for whatever reason, and they just need transitional housing until they can get other things settled. We can pay for those kinds of things. So and it's really hard to really list everything we do, because I will say, of all the aid service organizations, and they're all good, but man, we go above and beyond to make sure that our clients have what they need so that their healthcare is successful.
Even though you didn't list everything, the things that you listed were so important, and it says that things that we take for granted, some of the basic things people need, you guys are able to fill that gap with that.
Absolutely.
And what you're finding, I would assume, based on this, is that you're finding that a lot of times when people have these types of disease or these ailments, there are other things in their life that affects their ability, or that they might have things that spring off from there where they do need assistance financially, food and things of that nature. Why is that? Talk about some.
Because the reality is, so HIV is not what it used to be. It is a chronic, manageable illness. So think of it as managing diabetes, managing high blood pressure, right? And because it's a chronic, manageable illness, I mean, we can get a person healthy in a very short amount of time with very little medication. So that's how far we've moved. And because of that, people continue living life. They simply have this diagnosis, but they're living life. And as we live life, life happens. Things happen. So all of these circumstances, while they're not specifically health related, they impact your health. If I'm worried about my next meal, believe me, I'm not going to focus on getting my prescription refilled, right? If I'm thinking about where I'm going to get a roof over my head, I'm not focused on, oh, I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I'm going to be looking for the roof over my head. And so when we have these wraparound services, it ensures that everything else is calm and taken care of, so that people can prioritize their health. And that's really what it's about. It's about balancing life so that you can live and thrive with HIV.
Excellent. What does June 27th means to you?
That is my favorite time of the year. So in just a few weeks, we're gonna have National HIV Testing Day. And we partner every year with Walgreens and the national program called Greater Than AIDS to really normalize testing. So we have this huge event. We'll be parking our mobile unit at the Walgreens right behind our Carroll Road building, right on 41. It's right behind a bus stop, so it's easily accessible. And our goal is to test 50 people from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Walgreens on 41, right behind us on Carroll Road.
Outstanding.
Yes.
So June 27th is HIV
Testing Day.
And you will be doing some ST.
We're adding STI this year. Okay. Absolutely. Yes.
All right. You know, the old STI things that you enunciated, those used to be like on the front burner.
Yes.
And they should stay on the front burner, but
yes.
people got so relaxed thinking about HIV and AIDS that they're not getting tested as much as they should be for those?
I think people have relaxed because they know that there are cures for a lot of these STIs, whereas HIV doesn't have a cure. HIV, for some reason, even though they're often transmitted the same way, HIV still carries that stigma, that fear. We've had more people since we started our STI program come and get tested because of the STI piece than we did with just HIV. In fact, just before coming here, I did an analysis and I looked at the first 4 months of 2023 versus 2024. The first 4 months of 2023, we only did HIV testing. Since we've added STI, our HIV testing has increased in just 4 months, 179%.
And that's something.
Yes.
Well, keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Looking forward to getting you back in the future.
Absolutely.
Remember, Miami might have the oranges, but McGregor Clinic has got the
juice.
We'll see you.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.
Hello everybody, this is Lee. I'm so glad that you watched that particular show, and if you enjoyed that show, we got other shows like that. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch Lee Pitts Live on demand anytime, and also hit us up on all our social media platforms. Just type in Lee Pitts Live, and there you go.